utility pole.
With a teachers hope students took something else away from this trip other than some newly acquired canoeing skills.
These kids, most of them don't get out of the city. This is in their backyard and they don't even know it's there.
Brimming with excitement for field trip day, these Harrison Morton Middle School students don't need buses. They span the river, cross train tracks, and climb down hills. Without even leaving Allentown, these sixth graders embark on an experience seemingly worlds away from their familiar Center City neighborhood. Just a mile or so from school, students board canoes in the Lehigh Canal. It's here that the kids practice paddling for their 4-mile canoe trip down the Lehigh River. Like Yashira Anderson, most of these students have never stepped foot in a canoe before.
Well, it looks kind of fun, but I'm very nervous about it.
Paddling takes some getting used to. Some canoes go in circles. Others, well, they're learning about teamwork.
One of the biggest benefits of this trip is the cooperation. They have to help each other in that boat. They have to help each other carry the boats. The cooperation, it brings the class together a lot more.
Okay, we need people on this boat. Let's go.
And within minutes, the anxious rowers hop out of the canal and carry their canoes to the river.
I know how to canoe, but I'm afraid I might fall out.
Students pitch in, moving canoes to the banks of the Lehigh, and then set sail for Bethlehem's Sand Island. It doesn't take long for these newcomers to realize canoeing isn't as easy as it looks.
Ria, what's the problem?
It's hard.
Why?
I told him to turn. He doesn't want to turn.
Yashira and her math teacher seem to be having a similar problem.
He's trying to paddle on one side, and I'm trying to paddle on the same side, and we don't know what we're doing.
This is the first time I've ever done this.
Really?
Yes.
So this is not even...
And I might try this again.
Teachers say this trip is about more than just learning how to paddle a canoe. They hope the kids will develop an appreciation for a river that basically runs right through their neighborhood, and yet very few have ever visited.
And I asked how many of them had been on the river, and out of almost 200, well, more than 200 children in the audience, only a few hands went up.
Tom Gettings works for the Wildlands Conservancy, the organization that runs these boat and bike trips along the Lehigh. Back on the river, students dock on a small island. That's where naturalist Karen Brown tells them about how the river was once used to transport coal to Bethlehem Steel.
When they did that, they put lots of coal on barges in the river and in the canal, and a lot of times that coal fell off into the river. So if we look around here, believe it or not, we can still find pieces of coal.
Karen teaches students about the wildlife here. She skims the river to show students some of the smallest members of the food chain.
Now, if you look carefully, you can see little things swimming around in here. It's very important for them to understand their local ecosystem and what it is that they're out here can come out in their backyards and find and explore, and it gives them an appreciation for nature. Halfway to Bethlehem, students hit the river again. Over 3 weeks, all 220 sixth graders from Harrison Morton will take this full-day trip. It's an experience that lasts.
When you're in the classroom later on, you say, well, remember when we were canoeing? Remember on the river when this happened? All of a sudden the whole class goes, oh yeah. And you have this one connection for all of them to pull things together with, and we use that in all academic areas.
And we feel as if we expose children when they're in their middle school years, they'll always remember the river as something positive in their lives. Not like previous generations, which looked at the river as being polluted and dirty and so forth, which is just no longer true.
As we approach Sand Island, students say they've learned an important lesson.
I learned that teamwork is very important to other people, and that to survive through this, you have to do a lot of teamwork and listen to the parents and teachers.
I think it's very nice because that gives the teachers a chance to know the kids and give them how to experience new things instead of just learning about math and English and stuff like that.
Students have overcome the obstacles, but another lies ahead for teachers. how to finance next year's trip. Carolyn Conlon says there's no way these students can pay the $15 the trip costs.
Next year, we're going to be looking at going to major companies that offer grant money and hopefully receiving our funds that way.
But for now, students hop on bikes and head for Allentown along the canal towpath, proud that they accomplished something they didn't think they could, and anxious to return to their backyard someday soon and explore the river that runs through it.
What a fun story, and what a nice program for those students.
It really is, because like I said, a lot of them can't afford to spend money on expensive field trips. So this is something they can walk to. They don't have to pay for buses, and it's a first time for just about all of them to ever go canoeing before. So it was a great program. I had a blast too, canoeing down the Lehigh River for about 4 miles.
Did you end up in the trees like some of those kids that we saw?
No.
Because we saw no video of you in the trees.
No, because there was a guy from the Wildlands Conservancy behind me steering, so I was home free. I had no problems at all. But the great thing about this program is that it's open to everybody, not just school students. So if you want to go with your family, or you want to take maybe your office out there, just call the Wildlands Conservancy and give them a call, and you can head down the river.
Sounds like a good team building project for me. Promote community and a little leadership by manning those paddles.
A lot of good teamwork.
Well, you know what? We're all about teamwork here at Temple, and we'd love you to be a part of it. But to do that, we'd like to hear your comments, questions, or maybe even your story ideas. It's as simple as